Hello everyone, this is JD, and it's Patsu here as well. That's a flawless opening. Good lord, I'm bad at these.
Don't worry,
Anyway,
I'm worse.
it's time to begin the next case. Episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
Why are they speckled?
In the corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Alright.
Dang.
9th January, 6:37 a.m. Whew. On board the steamship Buria.
That's zombie hours.
It is.
Yeah, unless you grew up on a farm.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well,
This guy's cool.
what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
Oh?
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. An cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the
It's
locked
heavy.
room, but that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Oh, that's the coolest guy I've ever seen. I like his gadgets.
Yeah, he's something else.
Hmm.
Well, this is all you now.
Oh, dang. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. And there's trouble in the air. Oh, snap. Wait, I can't move.
Oh.
What the? What the? Why am I in handcuffs? This isn't the room I wanted.
So you wake up now, We had to drag you out to the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man.
You. Huh. You found me then.
Da. We found you, and now you pay. Criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, hmm?
Sorry.
Now you have been found, it is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how the cold the ocean is, hmm?
Oh, snap. No, no, I'll tell you everything.
There's one thing I'd like to know from you.
Isn't that?
Why did you do it? Why did you take his life?
Miss Usato.
This is the second time he knows he's been framed for murder.
Like, dang, man, this guy can't catch a break. Wait, what did you just say?
Just wait till we get to Maya Fey.
Oh, dang. Take his life. Where is he? Where's Kazuma?
Ha! You pretend you do not know? You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses.
The...
Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago.
Oh, snap. Kazuma's dead?
Yeah. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside.
But how? His body?
Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep.
Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I
have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please!
No. Oh, I can't scream that loud. Wait, no! Oh! Kazuma! It was just 2 short weeks ago. Oh, are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble?
Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study?
There was something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that a Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case into the floor. I thought I was going to die.
Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be less of a man than you look.
Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body.
Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you can't... but if you can confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you.
I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway.
They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure.
What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady?
From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean?
From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away.
No. But if she knew what we'd done, I'd make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this.
I suppose so.
Anyway, it's about the time that the steward's supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze.
Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in it for it.
Stop worrying. I tell you what. Why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper?
What?
Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside.
I don't know. I've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England. Together!
We leave you at the next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer!
Oh, I'm not a murderer!
Da! You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but... murdering my best friend?
Anyone could do it. No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
But if I really did, then wouldn't I have fingerprints or something? I don't know.
There's no forensics here.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And this is way, way earlier before that. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know.
Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you too.
Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened.
So, what do you want to ask about first?
Okay, let's find out how in the heck did Cosmo die? I thought he had a sword with him. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Cosmo's killer?
When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. Or, to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation?
Possible. How did he die then? What happened exactly?
Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances?
Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me.
The cause of death is still undetermined.
They don't know how he died?
The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we
Dang.
shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call.
So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then.
That's true, yes.
Okay. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma?
Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone.
Please.
Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all.
Well, yes, I was, but...
He would always wait before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far in this voyage. This morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't.
That mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin? Oh, I wonder.
I knocked. There was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor.
And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow.
I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe.
It's all very hard to believe for me too, trust me.
Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question.
Yes, alright. Ugh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Okay. Stowaway?
Why are you even on board this ship, Nahodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time.
I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing?
Oh no, that would have been impossible, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Cosmo invited me. He wanted us to go to England together.
He actually asked you? But why?
Because I'm his best friend. I'm afraid I don't really know these myself.
I don't understand.
Cosmo, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself.
Well, yes, you did say that. But I think you were serious.
You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that.
But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. I want to sell hot dogs.
Well, that's how you can decide for yourself. London's at the super... Wow, I can't read my lines. London's at the spirit of cultural development. The center of the world, in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there?
No, definitely not.
But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then...
Then what?
Nothing. Forget it.
Hmm? What's that mean, Cosmo?
Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama's... He was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Yes, maybe. Something still bothered me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san. I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on this ship, I mean.
If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association.
That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact.
If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin?
Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Oh, come on, man. Cosmo brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into the wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I...
Fell asleep?
Well, yes.
So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed.
Well, yes. Jeez, man.
This makes you look awful guilty.
Cripes. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do. But it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything.
Really?
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it.
Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it.
I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this.
Dang, that is kind of hard to believe, man.
Yeah.
Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Ugh! I can't take this!
Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen.
I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen.
Well, what do you propose to do then?
I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me.
Hiya!
Oh, dang. Ouch.
That was a Susato takedown.
Susato, what? What martial art form is that?
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Sorry? Prove it? I mean,
Yes, your innocence. I need evidence.
but how am I supposed to...
Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago. You successfully defended yourself in a court of law.
Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some, conclusive evidence.
What do you even have in ours? The
Got-
paper seal and your badge.
Okay.
So
So,
this just says keep out in
paper seal?
Japanese. So that's all we
Alright.
got right now.
Yeah, that's all I got. Now to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. I guess keep out sign then, because
Yeah.
that's all we really
Yes.
got. Yes! Tell me, when I was discovering the wardrobe before.
Hey, Captain Falcon, is that you?
Come on! Was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes, it was. I remember it clearly.
I thought so. Cosmo always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well.
Ah! Yes, of course! The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before I opened them.
But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own.
Yes, that's quite true.
That's kind of silly if you think about it. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. That and he's my best friend, so I would not kill him.
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you.
Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? My back is twisted.
Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating here, at least.
Thank you. Do you finally believe me?
I'm sorry. No,
What?
I'm not so sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put that sign back in position.
What does she think I am, a magician?
For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san.
Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Oh,
I shall be watching you, to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
right. Good grief, girl. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear. I will avenge your death. Okay. Well,
Okay, so, we can examine, talk to Susato, move to a location, but she probably won't let us, and present stuff. So, like, we could do something silly like presenting our badge.
Susato-san, about this.
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. But we don't have time to waste on anything else. We must find clues.
She looks serious. Really quite deadly serious.
So, that kind of response is like to anything that doesn't matter to the player character you're putting stuff. But you can like throw anything at them and they'll have like information if it is important, even the slightest. Or like, oh, I don't know what that is, I don't want to bother. Stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And if we move, we won't be allowed to move right now, because she's like, you can't. But we can talk to her any time, but it's just going to be the same stuff we already heard. So really, we have to examine now.
Okay. Well,
So,
guess we should go examine, I suppose.
alright.
What can we...
So,
look at-
we have a lot of... oh my gosh, my mouse is not functioning. That's awesome.
Oh, dear.
Okay, but my D-pad works. Or whatever. So, there's lots of things we can examine. We have the sailor here. We have the katana. The plate of food.
Ooh,
Which
plate of food.
is here. And the katana's there. Sailor there. A scroll, which we can examine. A pink object, which would be this thing here. The message on the floor, which is this. The trunk. There's like pretty much anything that would look important, but I'll just go ahead and move over to everything because I have the controller.
Yeah. Let's check something. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman thinks of the scene of the crime. Excuse me.
What?
I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean.
Mother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it is not true, I see.
What? Sorry?
The criminal asking investigator for information about this crime? Very funny.
Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke.
He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty.
He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. What do we... Okay, so last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
Yet, of course not. Now back to the corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you.
I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Oh,
He was
okay,
thinking about
so
our
he
It
might
Takes
know.
Two playthrough.
Oh no.
Oh dear, that won't do.
Oh, what's the matter, Sato-san?
Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly.
Ah, yes, that's not good.
I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san?
Maybe not.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, you can move the screen, but...
Oh,
I'm sure you're careful looking around using the D-pad, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin.
yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now.
Alright,
Okay.
and now let's examine the katana. Oh my stars and stripes. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. He calls it the Sword of Luck. But if he gave it to you, it would be the Sword of Luck and Pluck.
Oh, I think I've heard that somewhere before. Isn't that from...
And this is also very time period accurate as well.
Oh, yeah, maybe you wouldn't know the Joestar specs. Oh, I heard of Mr. Joestar, son. I wonder how he's doing. Oh.
He's dead. Died at sea. Like Kazuma-sama.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. I was wondering what that burnt smell was when we were passing by a couple of weeks ago.
Oof.
Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip.
Suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. I wonder though.
Let's
Okay.
see what this plate of
Ooh.
food is.
Food. That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not Dorks, Asada-san. I ate it at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Cosmo-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me.
Oh no! Does that mean poor Cosmo-sama spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible.
Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach.
See, the scroll does.
Yeah, what's that? Viggy. The Japanese word for justice, the brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma.
Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to?
Even though you stowed away on this ship?
Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win.
Alright, let's see.
I ain't do nothing.
Let's see what this thing
Sleep.
is.
What's that on the floor? What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have been broken clean in two.
Into what? The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke flattener. Whoa, wow. Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit.
I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him. Would he?
And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It sort of has a brick-like hue.
Yes, you're right. It's the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in this cabin.
Huh, that's weird.
Very strange indeed.
Well, let's see what this message says.
Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. And I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Did he write this?
Does he know Russian?
I'll say it looks like Russian, kind of.
Kind
Oh,
of.
Kazuma-sama.
I have no.
No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it.
I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing.
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san.
Oh, no kidding, huh? Then what language is it?
It pains me to admit it, but I don't know.
It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder?
Okay, let's see.
If we can understand that, that probably would clear up everything. I'm pretty sure that guy right there won't read it for us.
Probably not. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it?
Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. And me.
Memories? What do you mean?
Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case.
Yes. I see it says "this way up" in Japanese.
Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read.
Whoops.
I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here.
Just like earlier when Susato threw him around.
I was tossed over and over and...
Oh dear. Being a soy isn't as romantic as it sounds.
Well, it was less painful than Sasato's takedown.
Let's see. Oddly enough, it's not saying to, like, check the... Oh, that... Okay, the writing is part of the outline. Never mind. That's why I wasn't saying it. Okay. Trunk. Okay. And then the desk. This is where dear Cosmo-sama would have sat whenever he was writing.
London Diary. Poor Cosmo. He didn't even make it to his destination.
It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Ryunosuke,
Oh, yeah,
you're going to
sure
kill
does.
Cosmo and now steal my lines? And you stowed away? How many crimes do you want to commit today?
I'm sorry, okay? I jumped the gun a lot. Which means, what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. Could be a valuable clue.
Hiya! That's out of the question.
What?
Cosmo-sama may depart part of this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
If it's something important, something relevant to the case. Dang, girl. Alright, I won't read it.
Poor Cosmo-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important?
Okay, let's see. Desk.
Girl, you're a freak.
Let's see, there's a frame on the wall, which would be this.
Okay. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria.
It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide.
One thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here.
Okay, let's see.
I want to say I'm a dangerous object, though. That sounds cooler than a pet.
The books have... Oh, Jesus.
Now who's the real villain?
Still you.
I'm just... Dang! The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they all toppled the same way.
And what's this? Is that just some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well.
Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember how Cosmo dies in this. I don't remember how this happens.
Yeah, this still kind of makes me flips me for a loop or turns me for a
I
loop.
wonder if perhaps it was Cosmo-sama doing this morning sword training. Do you think?
I seriously doubt it.
Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage.
I thought leave the wardrobe just to mess with a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case? I wonder.
Probably not.
Nah.
I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess.
Don't.
That's tampering,
That's tampering
with the
with-
scene. The crime.
You can't do that.
She did it. Okay.
God dang it, Sasato.
And then let's. No, not that. Hold on. I meant to
Okay.
go left, but I forgot to use the D-pad, so now I gotta
Please
get
don't.
thrown
Ow.
around and.
Knock it off!
Whoops.
Yeah, I know.
There we go. Okay. There is a call bell, which I believe is this.
Oh, okay.
This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think.
What do you mean, contraption?
I read about in the book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants.
Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try?
Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously.
Oh, you just wanted to put a bullet.
Yes. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people.
No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all.
Poor Susato. She's like, ah. Okay.
Dang it. We wanted someone at our beck and call.
Then the wardrobe. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description.
Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception.
But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin.
No, sadly not. Now do you believe me?
I gotta say, this must be awfully rough for Susato because she's like, she wants to believe Ryunosuke, but there's no one else at the moment who could have done it. So it's like, man.
Well, yeah, but if you found me like sleeping in there and there's no way to actually unlock the thing from the outside, then put the paper on the outside. That should tell you something, right?
Yeah, but it's a locked case, though. There's only one person in here.
That's weird.
I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin.
Is that a little odd?
What do you mean?
Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to. You're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it shouldn't be connected to the outside.
That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray doesn't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that.
Suppose, maybe that's it. Or maybe not. Oh. Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, looks like he might be European.
Oh,
Oh,
how did he...
Those darn Europeans always sneaking into rooms. See, you noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here. He looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall.
Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And he's investigating Kazuma's desk. Or is he just playing on it? Can't tell.
Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him.
Am I just imagining it? Or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
Honestly, I'm really excited for this interaction to happen. By the way, I should have noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people and they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them.
Right then. I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. If I can't read his diary, you can't either.
Oh, please do. Well...
Sir, could you please get off the desk? Excuse me. Excuse me! Do you have a moment?
Shh! This is a critical point in the investigation.
Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly.
Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah!
Sheesh! What exactly were you doing on Cosmo's desk just now?
Ah, I see. Fascinating.
Sorry? What do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me.
Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. It's incredible how incorrect he is.
What?
And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in the most troubling predicament.
Oh, well, that's true at least.
But how... How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction. Hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being, as you are, a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes.
Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you?
Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name.
I don't even see one person who fits the bill.
So it's true. It was you who did this to Cosmo, oh, for crying in the mud.
Sato, come on, girl. What?
And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. I can't believe you've been rushing this entire time.
No, listen, there's no way.
Hey-ya!
Fart nuggets. Ow.
Now explain yourself. Tell me everything.
This is ridiculous. You please not do that again.
How could you do it?
For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously.
Oh, forgive me.
That's getting kind of hard to do. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head.
Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not?
Well, yes, maybe.
Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, hmm?
Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it a deduction. It's more of plain observation.
Indeed. And observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right.
Huh. I don't think you introduced yourself.
Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes. So, it's really you? The actual Sherlock Sholmes? The very same. The inimitable actual Sherlock Sholmes.
Do you know this man, Susato-san?
The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him.
I certainly haven't. What planet have I been living on then?
We must ask him what he's deduced. He'll have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this?
Well, time to talk to this guy.
Hey, Herlock. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again?
Are you kidding me? Indeed.
No,
I'm none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, I see. You're German. Herlock, was it?
I'm glad you immediately commented how that's pronounced. No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Buy my merch. Support me on Patreon. Wait, no.
You have a Patreon?
Of course I do, my dear boy. Oh yes, Ron's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Ah, yes. Here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then?
My dear boy, I am the protagonist in the entire world. What are you talking about?
Oh.
Indeed I am.
You've read so many of your own stories, you start to think you really are a detective?
Oof! Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward.
Backward?
Yes, bass-ackward, I would say. My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine.
You have a biographer, do you?
Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Hey, what is that? Why does that name sound familiar? Wilson? As in
Yes.
John H. Wilson? The man who was killed by Giselle Brett?
Oh no! Dr. Wilson, oh no, oh dear.
I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown.
Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not.
You shouldn't, for the most part.
Oh dear.
Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning is purest form. A science?
Really?
The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a touch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data.
Right.
Rinosuke's like, whatever you say, man. And then, it's like, this
Just
guy
hope he
is
doesn't
crazy.
I'm just hoping he doesn't spaz out and hit me when he tries to pose.
Right? And the training physician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago.
Look me in the eye and claim that.
Simply. So you see, I have returned both for observation and for deduction. And fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes.
Okay. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet?
Have I managed to use anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Don't forget my name, I'll be saying it a lot this case.
I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him.
When I became anxious about Cosmos somehow this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, getting entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Herlock Sholmes, was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me.
Oh, really? 2 facts, you say? Oh. 2 facts. Your deduction just now. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning?
Obviously, I was hungry. That's the first one. The second one was I had to go take a whiz.
Ah, well, I too know what it's like to take a whiz in the morning.
Ah, yes. But first, let's be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me.
Yes, I understand. But what were they?
Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was Russian, and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian?
Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. I don't know how to pronounce that. That is the Russian word for the wardrobe. Do you really think Cosmos Smirko left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. You know, Kazuma, obviously Russian.
Kazuma was Russian, was he? I think he just studied Russian, I don't know.
Initially, I considered Garderob may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert God, perhaps. In the
Okay.
interest of thoroughness, I decided being wrong to not look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer.
I said that I'm Russian too.
I have observed that you are wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And because he's Russian, you must also obviously be Russian. And if... Oh my god. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Yes, obviously. Are
Sir.
your uniforms the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea.
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. Good lord, this guy is...
I took a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Oh, whoops, I was like, this was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Sorry, I was so enamored by my own picture-taking skills, I was left completely speechless, you see.
Oh dear, okay. Yes, Cosmo had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I actually seen him like this. He's not dead. Maybe he's just sleeping.
Oh yeah, forever. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
And we now have the photograph.
Darn. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes?
What, pray?
You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that.
Ah, yes. The train of reasoning that led me to the truth.
Explain the train of reasoning to me. Don't you think?
More Russian. Certainly, if it interests you.
How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian.
Neither do I.
Stop saying it!
Well...
That's not gonna happen. Okay. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean.
Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in.
Actually, it was the other details I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part.
Ah, yes. The more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik. His name is Villain Bolshevik. His name is Villain! Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night, the young Russian was murdered.
Since when was Cosmo a Russian?
It sounds like Mr. Sholmes concluded he was Russian because of what Cosmo somehow wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary, and you look an awful lot like Villain Bolshevik to me. One who would kill the... Yes, that beard that you don't have looks an awful lot like his.
I had no idea.
You obviously shaved the day before. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Villain Bolshevik.
Oh, no. How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face.
Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well.
Please.
And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more?
Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all these particulars in the article. The deeds that man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Except for everything in that.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan?
Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan.
Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place.
Here,
I'm just a Japanese bumpkin.
take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction.
Oh, thank you.
I've absorbed all that is of interest to me in its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Well, we have the paper.
Now we got that now.
And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well.
On the back?
Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret.
It's all written in Russian. How can I hope to read it? But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to glance at the article. There might be a picture or two.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look.
Okay. Alright. This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I. Look at this picture.
Ain't she birdie?
Yeah, perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it.
Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents.
Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes.
It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented, young Nikolina Pavlova.
Why are Russian names so hard to remember?
It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which was some 20,000 rubles.
Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea. I'm quite sure. It must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Sada-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of the Nobovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry.
Yes, I'm not surprised.
The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm
Apparently.
going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. And now it's been updated! And that's pretty much all we really need to worry about.
Yeah, everything else is just kinda gobbledygook.
Yep.
Okay. What were you just investigating? Oh, you know, hunched over like that. Before we started talking, you were examining Cosmo's desk, weren't you?
Cosma? Ah, yes, the victim.
Yeah, you know, my Russian friend.
Yes, him. Friend.
Hmm.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe, for a moment, the desktop of the victim.
I didn't know Cosmo had a computer.
I was about to make a similar joke. You'll find this folder suspiciously labeled homework in quotations. I daren't open it. We see the victim
Oh.
was engaged in penning some text.
London Diary. Cosmo's keeping notes of the trip. Don't. But... I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Yeah, people.
Man... Person.
Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you've read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Suicide takedown is. Susada-san? Are you going to do a detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
Cosmo... Ryunosuke, the budget isn't that high for me to go fling another 3D model around. I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair.
Us bullying you in Og Chat.
This is all borscht.
Anyway, to return to the matter at hand. Namely, this diary belonged to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed.
Ah,
But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none.
so what was all that showing off about before then?
If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Cosmo-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear faint whistling sound. Was he playing Mega Man 3 or what?
Oh, a whistling sound? That can't be Proto Man, could it?
Well, this is a Capcom
Yeah.
game, my dear boy.
Oh,
These are
yeah,
very
it could have
deep
been.
waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? But what
It's,
can it mean?
A speckled band? What on earth does it mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin. So, a snake pit?
So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough.
Do you think perhaps that we could go with you?
No, that would be somewhat complicated.
What? Why?
A simple glance at your wrist will reveal the answer.
Oh, these.
After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No?
Still point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. What?
What? You must be joking! You just said it only a moment ago!
Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really.
So what? Were you just looking at my knees before? Some great detective you
My
are.
eyes are up here, dude.
Quit looking at my knees, man.
Well, anyway,
That's rude.
that was then, and this is now.
What do you mean?
What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate.
I was just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face, since the humor is twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just sitting there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
He just said I couldn't go. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? Just so I can.
Hi-ya! That's the fourth
Girl.
time! After Cosmo-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
No, you're gonna do that for me.
True.
Is it giving a choice in the rolling over part? I thought we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Oh, I think we still have some investigation. Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
The situation doesn't look good for me. There are still things I could do to help myself. I owe it to Cosmo to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice.
Okay, next. We should examine the sailor again.
Excuse me.
What?
I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Huh, sorry about that. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside?
Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but is not true, I see.
Sorry.
The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape? Very funny.
We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping.
Neat. You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay.
Alright. There's no point trying to appeal to that's better nature, that's for sure. Why don't you use a Susato takedown on this guy?
Because that would be wrong.
It's not wrong for me, though.
There's nothing on this table
There's-
at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason.
Yes, it's strange.
Are you really that much of a clumsy eater?
No, last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama.
No.
That's-
Quit it. Something must have happened to him then. Like, his head was throbbing.
That's true. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed.
It's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy. It just slides across the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there'll be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me.
Yep.
Glares at me like that. I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading it once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across the outside route in a situation like this.
Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabinet's frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
Glares at me like that. I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh, look over there.
The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he?
That's what I thought.
Why don't we try talking to him?
Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try.
Alright.
That?
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help a feeling I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir? Yes? What can I do for you?
Oh! I recognize that face. But it can't be.
What is...
Oh, bleedy face. It is!
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
Almost at Hosonaga. It's Naga.
Hello again.
What are you doing here?
And I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board this ship.
Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask.
Yeah, get us out of the room. I
can't
never
do
expected
that.
to see this man before. Oh, dagnabbit. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. What are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
Eh?
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility.
For what?
My orders were to act as Asugi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asugi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated.
Fascinated? How could that even be a possibility?
I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities.
It's incredible.
I don't believe it. Cosmo-sama was assassinated?
Yeah, and it
Obviously-
wasn't me.
Are you sure?
I'm
Obviously,
sure.
We couldn't give Asuki-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we were on board. From morning until night, every day. But I never imagined what happened here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asuki-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize.
Vector.
So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word.
Hey, an actual friend.
Yeah.
We're doing what we can to investigate Cosmo's death ourselves.
I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer?
Of course not.
Are you sure? We really
I'm
have to investigate
sure.
the cabin next door. He keeps insisting he's the killer, but I don't know.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out this cabin.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you moved to even touch the handle of the cabin door, the stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two.
Oh, frick. I suppose. I'm not just a stowaway now. I think I'm a murderer as well. Maybe
Would it
you
be
could
possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
do it. But I don't see how...
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you try to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. So we select a present panel, and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright. Yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with evidence that he needs to persuade the captain.
So, how did we learn that something was happening the next door over? Do you remember?
He said something about like a speckled band that was coming out of the...
And who said that?
Kazuma said it in his journal... Oh, not journal, diary.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, so... we should present that to him, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah. Just don't read it.
What's that?
Kazuma's diary.
Just don't read this thing.
Yeah.
Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band. That is strange.
Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is...
Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin.
That's right. If we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was.
Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain's giving me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though.
What about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders?
I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life in the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asuki-san safe. This is the least I can do.
Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just like moving, we can leave this cabin at last.
Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out.
Alright, now we can get the frick out of here.
Now this place is becoming far too cramped.
$7:48 a.m. Still friggin' early.
Dang. Finally out of that cabin.
What the?
What is that?
It's like a
that a
mouse trap.
I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on the study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage.
Really? That must be awful. Whoa. Oh, look over there. It's another crewman keeping watch. He looks enormous, even as if he was sitting down.
The door next to him leads to second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose. Like people in handcuffs?
No, they're fine.
Oh, okay.
Now, Hoda-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
Well, yes, I know. But the thing is, I was inside Cosmo's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please, don't give me that pitying look.
Okay, now. Well,
Go.
let's look at Mr. Big Muscles.
Hi, fella. Whoa. Excuse me, but could I ask you something?
You little stowaway murderer!
Wasn't a good start, was it?
Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class lady's maid?
Yeesh.
Oh.
You seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san.
I am not Sailor. My mother gave me name. I am Senior Crewman, Beef Stroganoff.
Oh, I get it.
God, his name was Beef Stroganoff.
Whew. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think.
Oh.
Hi, Mr. Beef. Mr. Stroganoff, about the first-class cabin area.
Here we are in finest part of the Borea steamship. From very important persons.
What are very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal.
Thank you?
If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied? Da!
Sato-san, did you understand that?
It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no.
Genius.
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Oh! Well, it sounds like there's somebody in the next door cabin at least.
Yes, it's tantalizing. Oh.
Yeah, who is that then? Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? Or Asagi?
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman.
A Western gentleman.
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder, student boy.
How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands.
Ouch. That was harsh.
Could you tell us where Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business.
Come to think of it, even though we've been on sea for 2 weeks now, and I've learned Cosmo's cabin the entire I've been inside Cosmo's cabin the whole time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin. Or even felt like there's anyone there.
Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business.
I guess it's not our business. Are you on watch all the time, Seaman Stroganoff?
Duh. All time. So criminals like you cannot come in, or get out. I wonder, could you just say anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy.
You were on watch last night as well?
Of course.
And did you notice anything at that time? Anything unusual?
8!
Sasato-san, did you understand that?
It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. It'd probably be niet, then. I don't know.
You didn't hear any strange noises, or sense anything was wrong in some way. You were looking away, sir.
I said no!
Sorry! I'm not so sure. I could have sworn he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there.
Sorry, looking down you give me crick and neck. This
Look
is
me in the eye,
enough.
I'll stand on that stool.
I cannot say more now.
Oh,
It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin.
yes. Alright.
Bulkhead to second-class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles at top of mountain. Or as English say, when the pigs fly.
Yes, I understand.
Pork.
Actually, I could go for some chicken skin right now.
Now you can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely.
Okay.
Boy.
Well, that
What do we
door
got?
is there.
Let us in the door. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one with the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Cosmosona wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Go open the freaking door.
No answer.
But-
We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries.
How annoying.
Okay, let's see.
Cosma, why don't you just climb through the vent to the other side? That book on the top table there It really is huge. There's a pen with it too.
You saw Cosmo to climb through the vent when he's dead?
No, not Cosmo. I mean, Ryunosuke. Jeez. Yes.
Yeah, corpse! Frickin' move it.
Do something. Gosh.
Yes, I'm sure that's a ship's log.
You're gonna stop helping us because you're dead. Should we have like a little look through it?
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail of the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
Look, you were expecting rough and ready soldier to have such beautiful handwriting.
Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report.
Is
Or
that really what it is?
maybe no one wanted to write anything down there. Maybe. This looks like a plan for the SS Buria. It shows catch deck. Look.
Each deck.
Oh. Dang it. Why can't I see that?
I don't know! I was like, what? The Bury is a
no.
large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Though I kind of prefer DC. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I get it. I prefer
Clever.
Marvel too. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a lump of metal doesn't just sink in the bottom of the ocean?
Oh,
It's
that's really
crazy.
quite simple, Naruhodo-san.
It is?
Well, consider the Japanese archipelago.
The islands of Japan?
Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than the ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them.
Well, I suppose so.
Let's see.
It was magic, you say?
Yeah, basically. Oh, we need to look at this door. That's really the second class area of the ship. Is something wrong?
I was thinking about making a run for it. Just for a moment.
Okay.
Things aren't exactly going well for me.
I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach the handle of the door, that burly seaman would certainly shoot you dead. Oh dear. I'm sorry. I just went a little too far there.
No, I started it with my talk of running away. There's no way I could run from or away while Cosmo's death remains a mystery anyway.
Okay, pan left. Door. Make sure I look at that.
The
Alarm.
bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship, and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, this I have to see. Oh,
What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it!
this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
Not that kind of emergency.
And
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring the vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. Huh, that makes me wonder, though.
Huh?
Oh, well, let's get to the end of this text, and I'll elaborate.
If you have something to do, if you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Ah!
That came from inside the cabin.
Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside! Oh, that's Holmes. Good lord. I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Jones!
With your small frame?
I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick?
I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief.
Nonsense! I have a problem to solve! I must kick!
What's going on?
So, while we're here, what was that thing you were thinking about?
Well, they said like if you ring that bell, it brings the ship to a complete stop, and that kind of had me thinking like maybe someone did ring the alarm, and then the made the ship stop and then knock all the stuff off the table.
But there's no record of it.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Someone like purposely probably probably didn't write it down that happened.
Maybe onto something.
Oh, it's you.
Who are you?
A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream.
A woman? Don't be absurd! As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin!
True. This old man does appear to be the only person in here.
Weird, I doesn't sound like an old man, though.
But in that case, you just screamed.
Get out! All of you! Now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimesby Roylott, I believe. Yes, that's me. And you are? I'm the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. And please, while you're at, back my Kickstarter project.
Man uses that magazine like a business card.
A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself in the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid! How can it fit into a small trunk like that? Meanwhile, Ryunosuke is like... Not
Please don't ask. It's
well,
not
that's quite fashionable these days, is
impossible.
it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. And Mr... I didn't get your name, actually.
It's Ryunosuke. Don't look at me. What the? Holy...
Did you say that,
Holy
Mr.
poop in a
Naruhodo?
sock. Yes. The case just shook.
Leave! Now! Otherwise, I'll call the steward!
This is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimesby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. The strange Russian man is hiding something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Okay, let me...
This guy's a trip.
Here.
Or this whammon?
Let's see... Okay, so we're gonna need to examine... well... We gotta examine the weirdest thing in the room.
Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes?
You need only address me as Sholmes.
That's what I just said, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there?
Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed. I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of deduction into service. Oh! And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken?
No, actually, you're spot on, for once.
Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians.
Right.
Can you imagine how the Russian would react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please! Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I'm about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. There may not be court trials in this, but we do have something similar-ish. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? What does that mean? I wish I could tell you.
I really don't think either one of those things should be occurring to you. Or anyone.
That's right. And Mr. Sholmes... I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh! I said complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering in my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you're about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah! Oh, Naruhodo-san, I never imagined I'd witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction?
It was something. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, nothing. Nothing gets past him.
Himself.
In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What in what is that?
Ineffable twaddle.
Ineffable twaddle? I've never heard ineffable twaddle.
It's just BS.
Oh, I've never heard such bull in my life.
Oh yes, I've read about countless times the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. It's like a dream come true.
I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both Mr. Stone's conclusions were right.
Well, that's weird. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. All aboard, choo-choo. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. It's time for court trial, but it's deductions, so it's different, but it's still weird. Don't worry about it.
Huh. Okay.
So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place?
Where'd that light come from?
Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. The light?
Don't hide them, we already saw them.
But now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away that copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question that then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylet? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper. In particular, the fascinating front page article. Which, it would appear, you have read also, Mr. Roylet. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik, which makes this young Japanese man I stand beside probably not Villain Bolshevik now that I think about it.
Yeah, you think?
Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. So that is Mr. Soames' stunning conclusion, is that this person is obviously Villain Bolshevik.
You know, when you're right, I guess.
Now, as to my second conclusion.
Oh, here we go.
You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime.
What?
And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylet. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah! And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse! What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation. A young lady, perhaps. One slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd! Too late. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Wow, I can't believe he's so accurate on both of his charges. It's crazy how accurate he is.
He is.
Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elemensky. That's elementary in Russian. I assume.
Susanna-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Stone's brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow.
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Can you come over here a moment?
No. But sure.
What?
Pray, what can I do for you?
It's about your deductions. Would you mind?
Not at all. Go on.
Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other.
Ah, yes. I recall a discussion earlier. And at the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary. Well able to revolutionize his own appearance. That's not how that works! In fairness, Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roy does look more like the man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part of him abducting the ballerina.
Indeed. A truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Then maybe it is.
Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to put a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I don't suppose this missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15.
No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness of their bodies. For a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself in the confines of that small case. Although I've heard that pickle juice does roughly the same thing. Just don't give pickle juice to birds. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, it makes you drink vinegar for punishment.
Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortions in the circus, Mr. Sholmes.
This little thing is turning into a Christ. The circus.
Oh, crisis also.
Yeah.
I feel like a crisis is more accurate than circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. They're completely whack, yo. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off.
Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Zusato.
It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some keywords in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Precisely the thought was going through my own mind.
This man is a lot of work.
Hope you like seeing me, because I'm in both games.
Oh, wow.
At times. I wonder how everyone's up with me.
It's not that funny.
Ah, and you, my good fellow.
Sorry?
Take a moment to look at your wrists.
My wrist?
Ah! Where are your handcuffs?
I'm free! Huh? How did...
I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction.
I don't believe it.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. Yes, I am quite something, aren't I? And don't worry.
Give him a bigger head.
I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished.
I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this.
Oh, no, it's no bother at all.
No, actually, I can...
So,
oh, okay.
Let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. This is where you come in and fix the obvious problems.
Hold it, Mr. Sholmes.
Hold what?
Your reasoning is whack.
Whack? Is that some sort of Russian saying?
Oh, no, it's not.
Okay. So this is all accurate so far. Which, I'll give you a hint. That exclamation mark means that it's on point. It's when we see a question mark that something is wrong.
Oh, okay.
Which would be this statement here.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard?
I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. Doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylet either.
Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a keyword here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters.
Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylet.
I wonder if it's really his beard he intended to use those shears on.
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Shome's deduction better,
Then what?
and lay the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san.
Why am I the one that has to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in the last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Royler really going to use those enormous shears for?
So, we can rotate the character model. We can also move the thing. So we have an option of replacing copious beard with copious beard, with thick hat, or if we rotate, we see something that's kind of off.
Why do you have gold hair coming from your hair?
You want to do that one?
Yeah, maybe we can do that one, because that seems kind of... You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport.
Indeed. You have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man.
You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair.
One still very much in her youth. Oh no! If only I'd managed to cut off my hair! No one would have suspected! Quite right. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. Yeah, something's wrong about this.
Nah, not that one. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man was really a young woman in disguise. Did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Yes, it was a surprise. Naruhodo-san, you're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts of Mr. Shomes.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business, not strictly so.
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Well, anyway, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Shomes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now.
No, that's true. Given that Mr. Roy is actually a woman.
Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary.
Which, whatever I was saying from the very beginning, you are obviously villain Bolshevik. I suppose because the deduction as a whole is taking a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
Oh yeah. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Yeah, we did. In the back of that newspaper clipping. Alright, I'll do my best.
I mean...
It's so obvious.
Yes!
It sure is.
Yeah. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. Yep.
That's right. You've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina the Nomovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name.
Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich Oh, Novovich Prima ballerina.
Miss Nikolina Pavlova.
Dude, watch when you drop those shears. Oof.
You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Well. Ain't that something?
That's
But now we have the
crazy.
other problem to figure out.
okay. So you didn't get kidnapped then.
Now, as to my second conclusion. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the proof is that it's over there. However, where she's looking is not where he thinks it is.
Okay. The traveling kit. No, hold on. The woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of her eyes. So clearly she can't be inside the traveling case as well.
Unless she duplicated herself. Or maybe villain Bolshevik is inside that. No, that's...
She was hiding the old man at the same time.
no, that's
I
right.
knew it!
See, she wasn't abducted at all.
In which case, what is the crime the young woman is apparently committing? Because I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again.
You seem like pleased now, Hoda-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around Mr. Sholmes?
Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else that shows what this woman is up to.
Okay. So let's see. Da-da-da-da-da.
The only thing that I could think of would be the, probably be that crown, right? Or the tiara?
Mm-hmm.
Yes!
But then again, the case moved, but I'm not sure.
It's the tiara.
Oh, okay.
Because the case, he was like, what are you talking about?
The proof of your crime is surely this tiara.
Ah! I believe this tiara is worn on stage by a dancer of the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in the newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary,
Crime you have committed is theft.
oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Ah!
Hey, did you
No
take
one,
it?
no family, no friends. I'm all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal a tiara. It was a present from, how do you say? An earl? A Prussia. It belongs to me.
Girl's only 15 years old. She's a runaway all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Why don't you stay with Sholmes? You can keep him busy by listening to all his stories.
Alright, I will tell you everything. There is no point to hiding it now. Come, let's not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? Well, what do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is it not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Not a single thing has escaped my attention this entire time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, say that again.
Indeed, I have a vague idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, you need only to follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason I refuse to open your case is written in the books on the shelf. What is he talking about?
What? He's completely changed the life with this deduction now. Oh, the tactic with deduction now.
I think Mr. Sholmes crazy. Or wait, he's adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you?
No, he's crazy. Maybe, but why was he suddenly brought to the bookshelf into all this?
I have nothing else to point it to, so why not?
Just a wild guess, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, doesn't seem like that's the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case. Well, if anything, it would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
That's be another reason why she won't open her case. It must be somewhere in the same area. That's where her gaze is involuntarily drawn.
I agree. That's the only answer.
Or she's hidden inside the case. Or she has inside the case. Should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase.
So, remember that the case moved, and then, do you remember the rules of passage by any chance?
Yep. I remember. One of the rules specifically says that you can't have pets come with you.
Yes!
Right? Yep.
Yep.
So she has a pet. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cats. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents.
As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time. No weapon or other dangerous item would move on its own accord, unless it was enchanted.
I would say a living weapon, which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case. Is the last item listed as... It was both of them at the same time.
It's the last item listed. God, this is hard.
It's hard to sync up. Whatever, it's a pet!
Yeah.
We need to... It Takes Two timing again, all over again. Yay! We figured it out.
Gotcha.
And that's the replacement for trials when we don't have trials, is dealing with Sholmes and his craziness.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, better get used to him then. So clearly, you aren't who you said you were.
No, I'm not Grimsby Roylet. My real name is Nikolaya Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel.
Oh wait, which could have been easy. The Burry is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you really have snuck on aboard without being noticed?
In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to
Honestly,
a woman,
you should keep it.
hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendations leave well alone.
So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, Who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin?
It's obviously her, dummy. That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none of this young lady, naturally.
Like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say? Disgust myself? So no one recognized me. I think you mean disguise. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see.
You need to work on your old man voice.
I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper. Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. He still wants to kick it down.
Gee whiz, man. Control yourself.
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time.
Let's see, you even talking about the same thing.
There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? Any guesses, Batu? What the pet is?
Snake?
You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew... Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. Yes, alright. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something? Mr. Stone's great deduction? Hate to break it to you, but Ryunosuke fixed that.
It was certainly something. Yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible.
Indeed, it is incredible.
Jeez Louise, man.
Ah, and one more thing.
Oh, yes? What?
Observe your wrists.
My... Dang,
Ah,
it.
your hands are cupped again.
What? But how?
True to my word, I have restored your shackles.
When? And why? That nav you.
There's still a shadow of Whoa! There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. It is so early and late in the morning, I'm losing my mind. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped in the moment.
Can't it? Really?
Anyway, this is what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Cosmo-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Well, let's talk to the young lady.
Dude, what happened last night? Do you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night?
One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast.
The man who died, he was a friend of mine.
Oh!
That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Ugh. Did you notice anything unusual last night?
Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Sholmes.
Shut up.
What are you on
Please.
about?
Are you doing drugs? Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed that if that happened.
No nonsense. Who would notice that? Those are very subtle things, Mr. Naruhodo. Mrs. Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. Well, shoot. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet?
Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you had that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live.
Okay.
I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives
get
us
that.
only a little food and water. And we must dance all over the world. I had to
Dang.
run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of the ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates the most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Me? Oh, well, yes, of course.
He's like, what are you talking about?
I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To a conundrum, I'm not sure, but... What's the conundrum?
Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. Everyone loves riddles.
I don't.
Everyone loves riddles. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Bodia stopped by no port last night.
That's it, of course.
So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewmen outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked them about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. That is not your business.
Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage.
Sorry. What was that?
It is how the Russian newspapers describe one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel.
Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid.
Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself, from myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement. For the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact.
Jeez, man. Yes, Mr. Shelley. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. So the friend you mentioned inside the traveling, is inside your traveling case, is that right?
I don't think animals are allowed on board, according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell. Don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious... Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Ah!
So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm not a monster. But what sort of pet
Just
is your
tell the
friend?
truth.
A little puppy? It is, isn't it?
Oh, maybe an adorable little rabbit?
You credit rushes align with small rabbits, do you?
Don't they have small rabbits there then?
You may well ask. I have no idea. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it can satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends. Oh, whoops. That's your line.
Oh, so you eat your friends. I'll remember that.
Well,
so I can't get too close to you.
We're not friends, are we?
No, I don't think so.
Well, in
Well,
a
I don't know, I'll
this
think
friend's
about it.
identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed.
Obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. It's something I should like to show it, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it.
So, do you have an idea what it is we need to present to her? I'll
maybe.
give you a hint. Or wait, go ahead.
I was
maybe
gonna
what?
say maybe the diary.
You're on the right
Maybe
track.
Maybe she might know what the speckled band is.
Oh, whoops! I should go to present. I forgot you can't just. Yeah, oopsie.
This is the diary of my friend who passed away.
His diary?
Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I hear a faint whistling sound. Then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? I don't understand.
Strange, isn't it? But the ventilation he mentioned is joins to the cabin. To this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall.
In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh! Miss Pavlova, has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? So either it was Proto Man or Snake Man. No. I don't know anything.
Oh.
That was
Holding out on
wildly
us.
unhelpful.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me, Mr. Royland. Yes? What?
Oh, dang. Wow, she's fast.
Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once. Please. Alright. I'll come now.
What is it? What do you want?
You must leave. Now.
Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us.
Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylet. Get out!
Oh,
The passenger said out! Or you want me to throw you out?
looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later.
What a pity.
So we lost our chance. And we still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. We were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown out into the passageway outside. Dang.
I did say out! And
You did
that's
say
the
out.
end of the episode, which, thank goodness, it is almost 3 a.m.
What? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
So, thank you all so very much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Check the links in the description. Keep an eye out for community posts. Go to bed on time. And subscribe so you can see this kind of stuff every day. I always say subscribe. We'll see you later.